was even looking at lists of things that were lied to about, and of course there's so many. And I thought maybe there's some big ones I'm leaving out. The truth is that we can't progress in life without weeding out the countless lies that you and I have to deal with, and I know there's so many. There's a phrase that I've created a long time ago, and it's absolutely true, and it's that nothing popular is true, and nothing true is popular. And very importantly, in several ancient languages, the very same word for popular is the exact same word for profane, or base, or low, and that's something you shouldn't forget. I always do the opposite of what the Gov't says, that people think their feelings are valid, and they're not valid. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but nobody is entitled to their own facts. And one of the things, that slings and arrows that we actually have to undergo in life is, being subjected, we're subjected to other people's feelings. And they really think those are the same things as facts. I'll hear when I'm talking to people, for the sake of humor, I said, no, we're not talking about feelings or opinions or beliefs. We're talking about demonstrable empirical facts. And that actually confuses people. You want to know a key earmarker of the degeneration of society. It's the fact that people cannot distinguish feelings over facts. That's a serious problem. That's a serious lie that everybody, a great number of people are subject to. Makes you and me, not me, I'm pretty much impervious, but most people makes them extremely easy to manipulate. And that's what they do to keep us down. Who? The Gov't, corporations, the education system, on and on and on. The list is kind of endless. I've gone over these endlessly, so I'll only brush on them, over them, that we're lied to. And this is not because science hasn't advanced enough yet. Tesla and countless others have been talking about this for a very long time. That light is an emission, a speed, a particle, a wave, a duality. All those things are false. It's rate of induction, a hysteresis, or medium. Hysteresis of the medium, that being the ether. Nikola Tesla specifically referred to it as the rate of elasticity versus density of said medium. This lie that we're also told, and I fell for it for quite a long time, until I focused in on it like a laser, that free energy doesn't exist. I know now for a fact that not only does it exist, I don't know the parameter and the specific geometry, so free energy does exist. We're also this big lie actually ties into another one, that the ether doesn't exist. Well, nothing is possible without the ether. All fields are ether perturbation modalities. Nobody sees light, they see illumination. Nobody sees the ether either, which is one of the primary reasons why people deny it. Well, if I can't see it or stick it in my hand, it doesn't exist. Therefore, the ether doesn't exist. Well, that's ridiculous. I mean, you can't, show me, the love you have for your parents in your hand, or your loved ones, or your family. And so don't tell me it doesn't exist just because you can't stick it in your hands. Ether does exist. But this ties into the second lie, and this is a great source of misery in society by and large, is that we're told that, there's this over here and there's that over there, and that things are not connected. We got electricity over here and gravity over here, and this over there. Everything is absolutely connected. When you actually posit the ether, then you posit the undeniable interconnectivity of everything. And this is a natural order, holistic, total mind shift, paradigm shift that changes how everybody looks at everything when you acknowledge that fact. But we're told that's not the case, and that also too keeps us separate. When you can separate entities, they're much, much easier to control. You don't want people getting together and talking. Nobody talks about this fact either. If you want to name the one thing that corporations and the Gov't and other such evil entities don't want, is they do not want you and your neighbor, or your bros, your dudes and dudettes, getting together and talking and having a rational discussion. Why are we putting up with this? You're right, I agree. I'm so sick of this, I'm ready to, ready to collapse. I don't think we should put up. You're right. They do not want that. They don't want people getting together and comparing notes. And I don't think we're going to put up with this anymore. When people get together, that's what happens. I think that's also too the other reason why they wanted everybody to stay at home. Like, don't go to coffee shops and hang with your like-minded peers and have discussions about things you won't put up with anymore. Stay at home. You go out there, you might get a germ or a cootie. They don't want people getting together. The one thing that gets me is that people, and it's this servitude mindset that you're going to trust the Gov't or somebody with a degree hanging. How dare you? I have my doctoral degree hanging on the wall there. You don't know more than I do. Fake education and memorization, I've gone over this ad nauseum. The big lie that you need to get an education, you need to go to college. To get a superior education, I've said this endlessly, you don't need to go to college. I'm sorry, it's just memorization. I'm not going to waste away a third or more of my life, and unfortunately I did, but I ignored them the whole time, by memorizing garbage that I can pull up on my iPhone. I'm sorry, life is too short for that. It makes me sick and ill to see all the people memorizing garbage. But the books that they want you to read in a formal education or in the college setting are books as bad, and many times the case, worse than the internet itself. But they're also too lying to you big time. Yeah, you need to buy this college-approved book at the university bookstore. And that book brainwashes you worse than even the internet will. So I have no respect for so-called formal education. I have no praise whatsoever of a so-called formal education. It's the biggest lie and the biggest corruption of society and people in specific that there possibly is. One of the ones that gets me is that people don't get it that are involved in organized belief systems is I tell them the fact, and they can't process it in their brain. I love the screwdriver, by the way. They can't process it in their brain that ultimate truth, i.e. ultimate truth is something that's universal from one end of the universe to the next, cannot have a beginning in place or time or person. We didn't know the truth. We were all doomed to Hades, the deepest pits of Dante's Inferno, until Guru Bada Bing came along in the 2nd century CE, and then everybody had the chance for salvation. It's like, well, that's completely ridiculous. That's not a universal truth. If it had a beginning and place or time or person or all three, it can't be true. It can't be a universal truth. And if it's not a universal truth, then it is, by definition, a huge, wet, sloppy lie. And people, amazingly, to my chagrin, can't recognize that blatantly obvious fact. They really cannot. This idea that your or my beliefs are valid is that which we are superior to facts, is source of about 95% of the strife in the world, all over silly beliefs of nonsense. Whose nonsense is a better version of nonsense, version A or version B? It's like, well, they're both nonsense. Well, that's true. And a lot of people are blissful for most of their lives being ignorant, but eventually it will become like a rabid dog, and it will turn around and it will spin around on a dime in a heartbeat and bite you in the boo-boo. It just will. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Remember when they told us that eggs were evil? You ever seen the food pyramid? I dare you to go look at the food pyramid. Look at what it used to be, and now it's even worse than it used to be. That was the GOVT, that put that together, the food pyramid. Raw, natural foods, this idea that, well, it's okay to eat trash, processed food, it's okay. As long as you got a Medicare card, you can go see your doctor, and he could fill out a little piece of paper. You've been eating too many Doritos and Cheetos and ravioli and Chef Boyardee. Yeah, you got a gallstone? No, I'll fill you out a prescription for that. Yeah. In other words, we can live our lives however we want, as long as we go see the doctor, and he could write you a script for something. That's just a lie. They want us to be like cattle, sick and miserable and fat and don't associate. They treat humanity like sheep, and worse than treating humanity like sheep is the fact that the humans themselves, a certain percentage of them, which is very large, like it.
We come into this world to eat, to sleep, to shit, and at the end, one thing left, to die. Eat, sleep, shit. And fucking. You could add everything wherever you want. It happens before life, after life, and between in this period. It happens. You're looking for more than this. There should be more. And then we don't teach to live good, to be good. We don't teach about life and about death. We teach going beyond of life and death. Find this point. Find this. What is that? That is doing this. What is it? What does it mean? Going beyond life and death.